Hey, thanks for watching 4Color Commentary. I'm Mark Allen, and decided I would do some affordable first, but I do like several at a time. I've got a few of them here. Just thought it might make for kind of a more enjoyable video. And I wanted to give an idea by using, different genres as well as different, eras of comics. I wanted to give an idea again of how many first appearances that an affordable first there are out there for you to pick up. Now, I also want to say this, and I mentioned this almost. It's become almost a disclaimer for me, I guess. I recognize that the last few years, first appearances have been crazy because if a character gets, or if a property gets optioned, or a character even has the possibility of appearing in a TV show or a movie, oh man, the prices go through the roof. But I'd like to point out that, and there's nothing wrong with finding a flippable in the dollar box or anything like that, or a cheap flippable that you can make money on. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't sully the hobby or the art or the medium or anything like that. But long before, first of all, we are spoiled these days as comic book fans because we have so many properties on big screen and small screen, containing some of our favorite characters. We're very spoiled. We would have, a lot of us older guys only dreamt of such a thing when we were kids, okay? And so I say that, but I also want to point out that long before there were any comic book characters on the big screen or the small screen, we true comic fans enjoyed first appearances, all right? And we wanted that first appearance of characters that we liked and characters that were just interesting characters, or maybe they didn't have that many, it didn't even have that many appearances, okay? So, at least I did growing up. So anyway, I want to talk about a few of these, and they're, like I say, they are from different eras. Here's one. We'll just kind of start with the newest one first. This property, or this comic, is an image comic called Velvet. And this comic is about, I'm trying to think of her last name now, and I can't think of her last name. All of a sudden, it'll come to me here in a moment. This is a book by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting, okay, who of course did very well in Captain America, fan raved, run, as well as a critically acclaimed run. But this is Velvet. This was published in 2013. It went several issues. I don't know exactly how many. The covers all are of this quality. This wonderful Steve Epting. I wonder if I'm not sure. I've never checked it out or done the research on it, but it almost looks painted, okay? But darn it, I can't remember this character's last name all of a sudden. But let me tell you a little bit about the premise. Velvet is a former field agent who comes out of not retirement. She's not retired, but she's been at a desk for 20 years, and she goes back into the field when the greatest spy, or the greatest agent, I should say, is murdered, okay, assassinated. And so she comes out from behind the desk to go back into the field. And I just simply cannot remember her last name in this book, but anyway, doesn't matter. It's a great character with amazing art inside. Great, very realistic Steve Epting art. My goodness, can't talk today. And so anyway, just very enjoyable. If you like Mission Impossible, if you like the Bourne movies, that kind of thing, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this story. It's a great story. It was optioned back in, I think, 2017 for a TV show. That may or may not still happen. Of course, there are other properties that are still optioned for TV shows. One of them is Dreadstar. That, of course, haven't heard anything about that in a long time. But anyway, Velvet is is a very enjoyable book. Now, let me show you one from the 90s. I think 1996. A Marvel book, a Marvel property that went only 3 issues, but this character was used beyond this story. But this is Ultra Girl, okay? 1996, Ultra Girl went on to become a member of the new Warriors. She went on to be used in the Civil War. The first Civil War, I believe, was in the Avengers Initiative. Was in Fear itself. Marvel's done quite a bit with her. This is her. This is her first appearance. She is rather unusual in the sense that she is a mutant Kree. Her name is Susanna Sherman, or Susie Sherman. Susanna, and her Kree name is TZU-ZANNA, Susanna. So kind of clever there, kind of obvious perhaps. But anyway, so mutant Kree. She's very cool Leonard Kirk art inside. Leonard, let me say a word about Leonard Kirk. He has a very clean. I hesitate to use the word cartoony because it's so overused, or was so overused back in the day with by comic book reviewers such as myself, as I was back in the day. But it is. It kind of reminds me of Mike Parobeck's work. Here's a great 2-page splash of the opening of her in the clutches of a sentinel, and so just I like Leonard Kirk's work. It's very clean, very action oriented, and it does remind me of Mike Parobeck's work. Of course, he's one of my all-time favorite comic artists, and so great stuff there. So Ultra Girl initially went 3 issues, and then she was just kind of used in other, in other stories in Marvel since then, off and on since then. Now, these are affordable firsts. Both of these I found in dollar boxes. All of these actually I found in dollar boxes and can be found in dollar boxes, at least in my neck of the woods. Let's see. Let's go another one here. We'll just go in kind of descending order or backwards. Here's a, I guess this would be a modern age technically, because I know it was from the 80s. So 83, yeah, 83 would be modern age. That was after the Bronze Age, I believe. This is a Mike Grell property, John Sable. John Sable was one of the first, I believe, one of the first independently owned characters or I should say, I guess that would creator-owned characters. I'm sorry, in independent comics in the 80s. One of the more well-known ones, one of the more successful ones. John Sable was heavily influenced, according to Mike Grell himself, heavily influenced by Ian Fleming's 007 novels. He was influenced by, there was another author that Grell who read his books, who wrote a bunch of books about hunting adventures and stuff like that in Africa and that kind of thing, and then also his own military experience. All of this went into the character. He is in the character in the book. John Sable is, or in the comic, John Sable is a former Olympic athlete, and who goes to Rhodesia, I believe it is, to become a big game, like lead people on safaris and stuff like that. Becomes a game warden, and eventually his family is killed by poachers, which to me, that kind of a little bit of a Punisher influence in there as well. So, but great, some of Mike Grell's best art ever, in my opinion. This would be right up there with his Longbow Hunters, Green Lantern Longbow Hunters art. But he just did a great job on this, and of course, again, in one of those, it's interesting I would talk about, open this video talking about comic-related movies and TV shows. There was a TV show about John Sable back in 1987. It didn't even run a full season. It was terribly done, but it is out there, and you can probably track down scenes of it on YouTube. Okay, so that's John Sable. Again, affordable first, very affordable first appearance. Here's another one, Bronze Age Marvel. I do actually have a DC book in here, so hold tight. This is the Mighty Thor number 240. And actually, I just saw one of these go on eBay for $3 in very fine plus condition. However, the seller was careful to say, the cover was very fine plus condition, but also then noted that top staple of the cover was detached. So I don't know what to tell you to expect to find high grade copies of this on eBay. What you will find on there, but I know I found this in a dollar box again. Okay, you can find these floating around. Bronze Age Thors, you'll find those quite often. Again, at least in my neck of the woods, you'll find those in cheap boxes. And they're great. They're well done. I usually got Sal Buscema or John Buscema art in them if you're talking about Bronze Age. And so what this one is, this is an affordable first. Within this is the first appearance of a character called Mimir. And I guess I'm pronouncing that right. Mimir, okay? Mimir. And Mimir is a relative, I think an uncle of Odin. And the origin story is not covered in this book. I've looked. But the origin story is that Mimir was fighting in a war, one of the wars with one of the other 9 realms. And he was beheaded and he didn't die. And so they brought Mimir's still living, speaking head to Odin. Odin turned it into living flame and made Mimir the guardian of the Well of Knowledge. And there is the first appearance of Mimir in Thor number 240 right there. He is, he claims to be all-powerful, and who knows, maybe he is, but very cool. Marvel has a penchant for very cool cosmic characters. I consider this a cosmic character. A magical character at the very least, but I could see him very easily making the jump to the cosmic realm. And so just a very cool, by the way, great Sal Buscema art inked by Klaus Janson in this book too. So great stuff there. All right, last one. So great affordable firsts here. Last one. This is an early book by an artist that I don't have very much of his work, but this I liked. This is Weird Worlds Presents number 8, the first appearance of Iron Wolf. It's a DC book. This is a character created and drawn by Howard Chaykin. Now, Howard Chaykin, most people know him from his American Flag work. I never was a big fan of American Flag, but this I liked. And I liked it. There was 3 initial issues of this run in Weird Worlds Presents. I don't know much about the character after that, but Denny O'Neil wrote the script, I should say. There's the opening page, very cool, early Chaykin art. I want to say something about some of these artists that started in the Bronze Age. Guys like, Howard Chaykin, John Byrne. I think Chaykin started in the Bronze Age. Pretty sure he did. But anyway, some of these artists that have been in the game for a long time, decades, you look at their early art, sometimes their early art was some of the best stuff they ever did. I think that's the case with Howard Chaykin. I also think it's the case with John Byrne. But Chaykin here, the thing about the young artists is they're hungry. And they are, not, I don't want to say desperate to work, but they're pouring, when they're young and they're just starting out, they're pouring everything, their heart and soul into their work. And so just really neat, great art, great penciling, great storytelling. And the thing about this book is, as more than, or at least as much as any other, probably more than any other of these books that I've shown, a lot happens in this one issue. It lays out a whole story of how Iron Wolf kind of becomes the pirate, the swashbuckling pirate character that he is. Good pirate, okay, but still. And it kind of shows, how he gets to that place. But, unlike a lot of the modern comics these days where you get through, you're flipping a page, it seems like every 30 seconds. It doesn't take you long at all to read a comic book. This one, it's weighty in its story. And it takes you some time, and it's very cool, and lots of great art to look at. So another affordable first appearance of Iron Wolf, Weird Worlds number 8. So anyway, just wanted to point out some affordable firsts to you. We got, gods and aliens and mutants and mercenaries. That's what, by the way, I should have said something, missed something about John Sable. A couple of interesting. He does become, with all of his background, he does end up becoming a mercenary. But here's the really neat thing about him. His secret identity, because he does kind of wear a mask there, you know, not a really effective mask, but he does effectively wear a mask on his face. But his alter ego is a children's book writer. Let me show you something real quickly because I forgot to show you. I meant to, but he actually has more of a disguise on as the children's book author than anything else. And there's John Sable in his children's book writer or author personality there. So anyway, very interesting twist on a alter ego there. So anyway, so some neat affordable firsts. All of us need lists of things that we want to go out and find. These are all great reads and interesting characters. And the best thing is they're not hot, okay, right now. So, but they are good. They're not hot, so you're not going to have to fight off crowds to find them. You're not gonna get gouged for them. You're going to be able to afford them very easily right off the bat. So anyway, cool stuff there. Go out and find them. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Share the video, comment on the video, and otherwise, thanks for watching Four Color Commentary. We'll see you next time.